Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I finally built the Salamangreat deck. I got my 3 structure decks like I said I would. And was really happy with the reprints and all that, like Ash Blossom, Goes in Match. And yeah, just happy with the new support in general. So I kind of wanted to show you my build of Salamangreats, because the one thing I do like about this archetype is that it can be built in just about any way you like it. Whether you want to do the beatdown, you want to do pure control, or you want to do aggression, which is a mix of beatdown and control. And honestly, I'm playing aggression. I'm playing a mix of both control and the beatdown variant, because I felt like this was the best way to play it. Because my problem with the beatdown is that, yeah, it runs a lot of great hand traps, but it's more pricey. It relies too heavily on Boral Sword, and if your opponent happens to find a way to out that Boral Sword, then you can basically clear their board and they'll have a harder time recovering. So I feel like aggression is definitely the better way to play it, but that's just my opinion. I mean, like I said, you can play this however you want it. So anyway, I thought I'd share you guys my build, and I'm going to thoroughly go through like each card. That way everyone kind of gets a better understanding of how the Salamangreats are, or how they work. And because I've been playing this deck for the last month and a half on YGO Pro, so I've been practicing like all the combos, what's the best way to start things off, and yeah. I actually got a chance to play test with some friends yesterday. I went up against a mirror match. I did had a True Draco matchup, which was tricky, but I managed to win. But yeah, oh, here, let me fix the camera just slightly. Here we go. Alright, so starting off, I'm going to be playing 3 copies of Gazelle. This card is literally one of your best combo starters. It's a 1-card combo. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and you can send 1 Salamangreat card from your deck to your grave, and it also works if it's normal summon too, but you generally want to use it for its free special summon effect, because you don't want to waste that normal summon whatsoever. But yeah, like I said, best combo piece. It's Foolish Burial, sends off Spinny, which comes to our next card. 3 copies of Salamangreat Spinny. It's a free summon from the grave, and it also has a cool hand effect where you give your opponent, or not your opponent, but one of your monsters a power boost, but you have to control a Salamangreat monster to use it. But again, the free special summon, you can't go wrong with it. But it has to be banished if it leaves the field. But if you use it as Xyz material for that Mirage Stallion, it bypasses that rule. So you don't really want to lose Spinny whatsoever. It's one of the best cards in the deck. And it's actually my favorite of the entire deck because, I mean, look at that artwork. It's awesome. Alright, next up, 3 Foxies. This card has got 2 different effects, which generally you can use one or the other, but they both do the job just fine. The first effect is if it's normal summon, you can excavate the top 3 cards, so it's generally a Pot of Duality, but you have to add a Salamangreat card from those excavated cards to your hand. If it's none of them, just shuffle everything back. But its graveyard effect is that you discard 1 Salamangreat monster, and then you get to special summon this card, and then once you do, you get to pop 1 face-up spell or trap your opponent controls, or just in general on the field. But of course you're going to go for your opponent, but yeah. Alright, so next up for the 1-0s, playing 1 Falco. This, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can reset any Salamangreat spell or trap from your grave back to your side of the field. And it also has a summoning effect where if you target 1 Salamangreat monster you control, bounce it back to your hand, and you can special summon this card for free. But keep in mind, if you target a Link monster, which you never want to do, you can't summon Falco, because it goes to your extra deck, not to your hand. Next up, we got 1 Jack Jaguar. If you control a Link monster, you can target 1 Link monster in your graveyard, send it back to the extra deck, and get special summon this card to one of those Link monsters, Link arrows, so it's a really good card too. And it does piercing damage, so why not? And the last one, 1 Salamangreat Raccoon. A lot of people kind of underrate this card, but I like it because it's a hand trap, and it also protects me from like cards like Boral Sword or Thunder Dragons, well, generally, here's how it works. So you discard this card whenever one of your Salamangreat cards is being targeted for an attack. Discard it, and then you gain life points equal to the attacking monster's attack, and for the duration of the turn, your monster cannot be destroyed in battle. So it outs Boral Sword. This actually pulled through for me quite a bit. And yeah, it's just really good built-in protection, and it can recycle itself. So whenever a Link monster, one of your Salamangreat Link monsters destroys a monster in battle, you can add this back to your hand. So he has his own recursion effect, so that's really good, and I feel like Raccoon is definitely one of the best Salamangreat cards in the deck. But again, it's a good one-up just because, it's searchable. You don't want to have multiples because it's bricky at like 2 or even at 3, so I think 1 should be perfect. Alright, so moving on, I got 3 Lady Debugs. This is from the different structure deck, Power Code Link, I'm sorry. But this basically your Stratos searches out all your Salamangreats, and it's a level 4, so you can use this to summon Baelings. So it's just that generic of a card to run. Another good extender, as well as a free popper, it's Crusader Reclusia. So you can special summon this card for free if you have a link monster to one of its link arrows. And then whenever this card is normal or special summoned, you can have it pop itself and then pop one card your opponent controls. So it's a good way to out like Floodgates as well, because there can only be one. Macrocosmos, those are like the most devastating ones that really hurt this deck. But I also like that. What else I was gonna say? This actually helped me beat True Dragos. It helped me pop the Vanity's Fiend, because that's the card that also hurt me. So I was like, damn it, Vanity's Fiend. So I normal summon this, use its effect to pop itself, pop Vanity's Fiend, and I was able to get my combos back going, because this deck really needs to do its special summons, and if you can't do that, then you pretty much lost. But that's why I felt like I should build this deck to where it can out those kind of weaknesses, because this deck has a lot of weaknesses, so some people just kind of overlook those. But once you exploit those weaknesses, then you can easily beat this deck. But if you are the person playing this deck, you want to be able to, take care of those, So, yeah. So, moving on to the hand traps, I'm playing 3 Ash. So, yes, Ash Blossom is in the structure deck as a common. Definitely a good reprint, but now everyone's going to have access to Ash Blossom, so I'm a little scared, but hey, this product is bound to sell out pretty quickly too, so there's no reason that no one should have Ash now at this point. 2 copies of Valor, so I figured why not. I don't have impermanence since I can't afford it, but Valor is still a great option. I definitely recommend 2 Valors at minimum anyway, because Valor is so good in this format. For the spells, got 3 Salamangreat Circles. This card is basically your Rhoda. It also has a protection effect for your Salamangreat Link monsters if they were linked with themselves, but you mostly use it for its Rhoda effect. 3 Called by the Graves. Why not? 2 Twin Twisters, because this deck can actually get away with running Twin Twisters in the main. Discard one of your Salamangreat monsters, and you can still trigger off Gazelle. For the 1-ofs, got the Field Spell, which enables the Link monsters to link away with themselves. 1 Will, which is Monster Reborn, basically. Fusion of Fire, which is a pseudo Super Poly, just not a spell speed 4, which comes to our next card, Super Poly. I mean, come on, y'all saw this coming. Alright, so now for the traps, and this is where the control really comes in handy. So I'm playing 3 Solemn Strikes. I'm not running Warning or Judgment because I feel like that's kind of overkill, and plus, you don't want to spend too much of your life points, because, yeah, you have ways to recur your life points, but I think Strikes should be more than enough, honestly. 2 Salamangreat Roars, and then Rage, I'm sorry. But the reason for Strikes is like, yeah, you want to negate monster effects, you want to negate special summons, and at times, I get the feeling people are going to start citing in Witch's Strike, so I usually bait it out with Solemn Strike and then hit it with Salamangreat Roar. That way I can negate Witch's Strike. So, yeah, like, that's generally how I like to do things, just like bait things out. But, it's really tricky. But Rage is the best card because, you can also pop cards. Like, if you have a Link monster that was Link summoned with itself, you can pop any number of cards your opponent controls up to that monster's Link rating. So, amazing card. I definitely recommend it. So, moving on to the extra deck. I'm playing 2 copies of Heat Leo. This is one of the boss monsters, but he's not like key to the whole strategy, but he has a great effect though. He's a hybrid of like Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix. So when this card is Link summoned, you can target one of your opponent's spell and trap cards, shuffle it back into the deck. And its effect where if it's linked away with itself, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard and 1 monster your opponent controls, and that in the monster you target in your graveyard becomes the attack points of your opponent's monster. So, well, actually, I said that backwards. So, your opponent's monster's attack points become the monster you targeted in your graveyard. So, if you target Ash, for example, like, let's say I targeted, I don't know, Boral Sword. Its attack points will become 0 with Ash Blossom. So, really good card. I really do like what it can do, but it's not, like I said, it's not the most important card of the strategy. The most important one is actually Sunlight Wolf, which I would definitely pick up a playset as quickly as you can, because this card is generally going up in price. But just requires 2 fire effect monsters. If a monster is normal or special summoned to one of its link arrows, You can add one fire monster in your graveyard back to your hand, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot normal or set or special summon monsters of that same name. But that's never a problem. You generally just recycle Ash or Raccoon or something like that, or Gazelle for the next turn, you know. But yeah. But its second effect is that if it's linked away with itself, you can target one of your Salamangreat spells or traps in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So you can basically reactivate that card without having to set it or anything. So, except the trap cards, of course. You always have to set trap cards first. But it's a good way to, you know, replenish your circle, replenish your grades. You know, just, you know, you always want to replenish. That's the key thing. Replenish. Next up, we got 3 copies of Salamangreat Bailings. This card's really good too. This searches out your field spell. And also has an amazing graveyard effect that's basically Return of the Dragon Lords. So anytime one of your Salamangreat cards is about to be destroyed, you can banish this card instead and protects them from destruction. So it's a good way to protect that field spell, which is why running 1 is enough, honestly. For the last of my Link monsters, I'm running 1 Hita. This card is really good, especially in mirror matches, because you can target 1 fire monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to, and then basically, like, for example, if you summon back Gazelle from your opponent's graveyard, if it's a mirror match, you get Gazelle's effect for yourself. It also has an effect that's like Witch of the Black Force. So where this card is destroyed, you can add 1 fire monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. So, and you can actually summon it on the same turn, unlike Witch of the Black Forest. So, really good card. It's just a good way to search out any of your other key pieces, like Gazelle. I think Spinny. Yeah, Spinny has 1500 defense. I could be wrong. I'll have to double check that. But just about everything in this deck will be searchable with Hita. Moving on, got the only other Link monster I will be playing is Flame Administrator. I'm not running Borreload Dragon or Boral Sword, of course, because I feel like this deck can easily get around those cards anyway. So I really don't see the necessary points. But eventually I may put in my Borreload Dragon in this deck. I'm still going to have to figure out what I want to take out for that. But for now, I think this is good. For the Xyz, 2 Mirage Stallion. You can run 3 if you chose to, but this card is basically Nightmare Unicorn and Cerberus. If this card is used as Link material, you can shuffle back 1 monster your opponent controls, or it doesn't shuffle back, it just adds it back to the hand. So technically it's more of a Cerberus / compulsory, actually, if you think about it. But it also has a good effect in general too, where you can detach 1 material, especially summon 1 Salamangreat from your deck in defense mode. So it's a good way, you know, just to get more combo pieces out and just further extend your plays. Number 41, Baguska is my next card, which is really good, but this one, you don't have to run it, but I like it because, you know, you definitely want to, you know, slow down your opponent to keep him from activating his combos and all that good stuff. So it's really good against, like, Thunder Dragons. This basically outs the Thunder Dragons, because it doesn't work on your Link monsters, and they can't do the built-in protection if this card is in defense mode. So, yeah. Next up, 2 copies of Violet Chimera. This is my deck's win condition. If you summon this card, it gains half of the attack points of all the fusion materials that you used. And also it has an ability where, like, once per battle, this card's attack points become double. And if you use it as fusion material for itself, not only does its attack points double, but the monster it battles attack points become 0. So it's really good. Really hard monster to get around. So yeah, Violet Chimera, definitely recommend it. So, but yeah, some people like to run it at 1, some people like to run it at 2. Like I said, it's really up to the player at this point. For the side deck, running triple Ghost Reaper for mirror matches, but I might take it out. I'm still debating, but I think Ghost Reaper is definitely going to be pretty good right now, so I figured why not. 3 Artifact Lancias against Thunder Dragons, but I'm actually going to change it out for Raw Sphermos. I just couldn't find them yesterday, so I'm going to try somewhere else to see if they have any in stock, but if not, I'll just order them online. For any search-based deck like this one, or Sky Strikers, or just in general, Share Ride. Share Ride is definitely good in this format, so I definitely recommend it. 3 Forbidden Chalice. This just to force me to go second, because my deck's built to go first. But if I'm forced to go second, and I know my opponent's probably going to go with an Azathoth play, because that's being used pretty commonly, this is a good way to out Azathoth. But once again, I kind of want to go with Ross Sphermos on this one more, but it's just, you know, for a while, I'm just going to have to go with what I have. And then finally, 3 Gozer Match. Since this deck is primarily fire attribute, and this shuts down like certain decks like Ultrageist, Sky Strikers, so it's just, you know, really good. It also hurts Thunder Dragons too, because they're multiple attributes. They're light and dark, so they have to go with one or the other. But yeah, I just felt like these were the best choices anyway. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, I'll get a tutorial video for you guys as soon as I can, and I'll show you how this deck works. And I'll catch you guys again on the next video.